In recent times, a wave of interest has surged among believers and skeptics alike, centering on the notion that the Bible's final prophecy is on the verge of fulfillment. This prophecy, often associated with the end times, is said to be unfolding before our very eyes, with signs and events that echo the warnings and predictions written thousands of years ago. But what is this prophecy, and how does it relate to the current state of the world? To answer these questions, we must delve into the heart of biblical prophecy and examine the evidence that suggests we are living in prophetic times. Before we explore the specifics of the Bible's last prophecy, it's essential to understand the nature of biblical prophecy itself. Prophecies in the Bible are not mere predictions of future events, but are seen as divine revelations that offer insight into God's plan for humanity. They often serve as warnings, promises, or guidance, urging people to align with God's will. The Bible contains numerous prophecies, many of which have been fulfilled throughout history. For example, the prophecies regarding the birth, life, death, and resurrection of Jesus Christ were foretold in the Old Testament and came to pass in the New Testament. Similarly, the fall of ancient empires like Babylon and the destruction of Jerusalem were predicted by the prophets and occurred as foretold. However, some prophecies in the Bible are considered to be yet to be fulfilled, particularly those related to the end times. These eschatological prophecies, found primarily in the books of Daniel, Ezekiel, Isaiah, and Revelation, describe events that will unfold in the final days of human history, leading to the ultimate fulfillment of God's plan. The Bible's last prophecy, often referred to as the end-time prophecy or the Apocalypse, is described in detail in the book of Revelation, the final book of the New Testament. Written by the Apostle John, who received a series of visions while exiled on the island of Patmos, Revelation is a complex and symbolic text that has been interpreted in various ways over the centuries. At the heart of Revelation is the prophecy of the second coming of Christ, the final judgment, and the establishment of God's eternal kingdom. This prophecy is accompanied by a series of events known as the signs of the times, which include natural disasters, wars, famines, and the rise of a global leader often identified as the Antichrist. One of the key elements of this final prophecy is the concept of the Great Tribulation, a period of unprecedented suffering and chaos that will precede the return of Christ. During this time, believers will face persecution, and the world will be engulfed in turmoil as the forces of good and evil clash in a cosmic battle. Another significant aspect of the final prophecy is the gathering of nations for a final confrontation, often referred to as the Battle of Armageddon. This battle, according to the prophecy, will take place in the Middle East and will involve the major powers of the world. It is believed that this conflict will culminate in the intervention of Christ, who will defeat the forces of evil and establish his reign on earth. The question that has captivated the minds of many is whether we are currently witnessing the fulfillment of the Bible's last prophecy. The world today is marked by unprecedented changes and challenges, some of which seem to align with the signs described in Revelation. The Bible predicts that in the end times, the world will experience an increase in natural disasters such as earthquakes, famines, and plagues. Today, we see a rise in the frequency and intensity of natural disasters, from devastating hurricanes and earthquakes to widespread droughts and pandemics. These events, coupled with the growing environmental crisis, have led some to believe that the earth is groaning under the weight of prophecy. Sign mentioned in the Bible is the escalation of conflicts and wars. The world today is rife with geopolitical tensions, with conflicts erupting in various regions and the threat of global war looming large. The increasing instability in the Middle East, often seen as the epicenter of biblical prophecy, has particularly heightened concerns that we are moving closer to the fulfillment of the final prophecy. The Bible warns of a time when moral values will deteriorate and many will be led astray by false teachings and spiritual deception. In our modern world, we witness a significant shift in societal values, with many traditional beliefs being challenged and redefined. Additionally, the rise of New Age movements, cults, and the spread of misinformation have contributed to a sense of spiritual confusion, further fueling the belief that we are in the last days. Revelation also speaks of a time when a global economic system will be established, requiring people to receive a mark, known as the Mark of the Beast, to buy and sell goods. Some interpret this prophecy as being fulfilled through modern technology, such as digital currencies, biometric identification, and the growing use of surveillance systems. The convergence of technology and commerce has led to speculation that the infrastructure for this prophetic system is already in place. One of the most significant signs often cited by biblical scholars is the rebirth of Israel as a nation in 1948. The Bible foretold the regathering of the Jewish people to their homeland, and many believe that the establishment of the State of Israel marked the beginning of the end times. The ongoing conflict in the Middle East and the focus on Jerusalem as a point of contention in international politics are seen as further evidence that biblical prophecy is being fulfilled. As the world grapples with these signs and events, the call to vigilance becomes more urgent. Believers are encouraged to remain steadfast in their faith, to discern the times, and to prepare for the coming of Christ. The Bible emphasizes that no one knows the exact day or hour of Christ's return, but it also urges believers to stay alert and be ready, for the fulfillment of prophecy can happen at any moment. In conclusion, the belief that the Bible's last prophecy is coming true is rooted in both faith and observation. While the interpretation of these prophecies varies, the sense of urgency and anticipation remains strong among those who hold to the teachings of the Bible. Whether we are indeed witnessing the final fulfillment of biblical prophecy or simply living through tumultuous times, the message of Revelation serves as a reminder of the ultimate hope and promise that lies ahead for those who trust in God's plan.